Coming up on this special edition of GWeek, we check out the district's newest tourist destination where DC meets the water.
Go on an adventure through one of America's most popular parks with GW trails and get student reactions to the deadliest mass shooting in our nation's history. All this and more
on GWeek.
Welcome to a special edition of GWeek. I'm Hallie Brown.
And I'm Devon Morales. And yes, welcome to our first show since the studio has been upgraded to HD. During GW TV's hiatus, our staff worked on several stories from September and October. So this special edition of GWeek is a compilation of those stories.
But before we get started on those stories, here are the latest headlines. On Monday, November 13th, GW inaugurated its 17th university president, Thomas J. LeBlanc. Former Presidents Knapp and Trachtenberg and the family of President Elliott joined the GW community and other distinguished guests for the ceremony in the Smith Center. Following the ceremony, there was a celebratory reception in the Science and Engineering Hall and an invitation-only dinner at the Library of Congress. President LeBlanc joins the GW administration after serving as the Executive Vice President and Provost for the University of Miami.
Senator Rand Paul, who's a professor at GW this semester, was attacked at his home while mowing his lawn in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He sustained 6 broken ribs and bruised lungs. His neighbor Renee Boucher attacked the senator from behind and has pleaded not guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. Dr. Paul took off 1 week from work to recover at home. He teaches a class about dystopian novels at GW, and upon his return to class, Senator Paul did not give any updates on his condition.
In other GW news, TGI Fridays, GW's Buff and Blue Technology Center, and other vendors located in the 2100 Pennsylvania Avenue will be forced to close their doors by the conclusion of next year. Real estate developer Boston Properties plans to transform the beloved complex into an investment property. GW is hopeful that this makeover will bring in revenue to help finance future endeavors.
This past Sunday, Lin-Manuel Miranda teamed up with the Hispanic Federation to march for Puerto Rico relief support. The Unity March began at the Capitol and finished at the Lincoln Memorial. In the 2 months since Hurricane Maria made landfall, only about 50% of electricity has been restored on the island. Puerto Rican officials have pledged to gain 80% by the end of November. Coming up, we'll bring you stories from the month of September.
Stay with us.
Raise high. This isn't just our battle cry. It's our call, our challenge. Because when you are called to Washington, you are called to higher expectations, to a higher standard. We are called here to advance knowledge, to serve society, to change the world. This is the George Washington University, and what we make is history. So stand up, be bold, take risks, press on, push harder, raise high.
Welcome back. Numerous outdoor events were held across the district in the month of September as people soaked in the last few days of summer.
And one of those events was held in Georgetown that highlighted the community's delicious cuisine and cupcakes. GWeek reporter Naya Rai gives us the dish of the taste of Georgetown.
24th annual Taste of Georgetown event hit DC this weekend. The self-described foodie event attracts hundreds of people to some of the neighborhood's best restaurants. It's been great so far. There are definitely a lot more people than I thought. And actually we've had people piggyback off of us. Like yesterday was the Taste of Arlington. Oh, really? So they saw like the popularity and they scheduled it so it wasn't on the same day, but it's definitely like popping up in more and more places.
The event organizers could not have asked for a nicer day to get people to come down to the Georgetown waterfront.
Never been here before. I lived in DC for up to years. And it's fun just kind of like shopping and looking at all the different kinds of foods. And then I just did some chicken egg. Very good.
So I had a sprinkles cupcake and Bangkok Thai pad Thai. And my personal favorite was the Bangkok pad Thai just because I love Thai food. And pad Thai has always been a classic of mine, like a staple. And I'm definitely going to be visiting that restaurant now. It's probably not part of G-World, but that's okay.
Reporting for GWeek, this is Nia Rai.
Thanks, Naya. The chaos of tourism meets the calming effects of yoga as hundreds of people gathered on the National Mall to find some zen. Brooke Whitfield reports.
12th Annual Yoga on the Mall on September 24th.
DC, let's make it stand for divine connection.
It was really cool to see like a really big group of DC people get together for something they all enjoy rather than like a lot of tourists at like the Lincoln Memorial.
This public event brings together local yoga teachers and studios to participate in MC Yogi's spectacular yoga class on the National Mall.
Today. Hi, I'm Elise Bartolo. I teach over at 405 Yoga, Rocket Yoga, and I'm here today to do MC Yogi's class and be here with all the people and share the yoga with the greater DC community.
Such an honor and an amazing privilege to be here with you guys today to practice yoga in this sacred, beautiful place here in our nation's capital. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
In addition to yoga, powerful messages were shared.
Social justice is really an issue that is integrally part of the yoga community. And if we're not talking about ahimsa and nonviolence and truth and healing our communities, then we're missing the whole point of yoga.
Everybody up! Everybody up!
Thanks, Brooke. At the end of August and into September, a series of devastating storms pummeled the southeastern United States and the Caribbean. Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria left a trail of devastation, leaving millions of civilians without power, water, and shelter. Reporter Devon Link spoke to GW students affected by these disasters and interviewed GW officials about the resources available to help.
In recent weeks, there's been an unprecedented amount of storms occurring around us. This has hit home on the GW campus, affecting many students and families.
Starting with Hurricane Harvey in Houston, Texas, and most recently with Hurricane Maria hitting Puerto Rico, countless GW students, faculty, and families have had their homes and lives uprooted. Ruby Rivera, a GW sophomore, was forced to miss the first few days of school when her community in Texas was evacuated.
It was like about a foot of water that came into our house, like initially after we evacuated. About 2 of our ceilings accumulated water, so they all came crashing down. And as of now, when I speak to my family, they tell me that they're like sleeping in an air mattress.
Other than physical damage, extreme stress and emotional strain have put pressure on students' academics and everyday lives. Especially for freshman Tiana Barkley, who has been worried about her family and grandmother in Puerto Rico.
So I really could not concentrate because I didn't know whether or not she was okay.
University administration has responded to the storms by putting in place resources to assist students financially, academically, and emotionally.
Look, this is an incredibly stressful situation and frankly one that is unprecedented. And so it can be incredibly challenging to manage that on your own, and we want folks to go to and utilize the services at the Colonial Health Center to make sure that they know that they're not by themselves as they're going through this, right? That we always have somebody who they can talk to 24 hours a day.
We can support our fellow students by being aware of their situation and listening to their needs.
Your job as a friend, as a classmate, as a colleague is to make sure that those people know, number one, they're not alone in what they're going through, and number two, that you can work with them to get them connected to different folks like my office, like financial aid, like their RA teams within the CSE that might be able to help them and support them.
If you would like to get involved in student relief efforts, please contact the Nashman Center. And if you're an affected student, please reach out to Office of Student Support and Family Engagement. This is Devon Link reporting for GWeek.
Thanks, Devon.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our stories from October.
Stay with us.
It's on us
to stand up to those who tell us it's not our business.
To tell our friends if what they're doing is wrong.
It's on us.
To do something, anything, to keep an assault from happening.
To be more than a bystander.
To create an environment where women feel and are safe.
It's on us.
To change the way we talk about women.
To be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
It's on us.
To say something when our friends are being stupid.
To hold our friends accountable for their actions.
It's on us.
To look out for someone who's had too much to drink.
To step in if a friend is doing something that could lead to sexual assault.
It's on us.
To not give our friends a pass.
To never blame the victim.
To stop a sexual assault any way we can.
I am a member of the George Washington University community, and it's on us to end sexual violence.
Welcome back. Last month, the United States experienced the worst mass shooting in our nation's history in Las Vegas. 58 people died and more than 500 people were injured when a gunman opened fire over a country music festival from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. GWeek reporter Devon Link is back with how GW students reacted to this tragedy.
It's been a month since the deadly shooting in Las Vegas. We're out in Kogan Plaza today to see how students are recovering and hear their thoughts on the tragedy. How do you think the GW community is healing after the Las Vegas shootings?
I think they've rebounded well. I'm not really sure that there was much to do to begin with. I don't really particularly feel that GW was that much affected by the shootings, although we're the 10th most politically active campus. I almost feel that we should have been more proactive in our response to the shootings.
To be honest, I've talked with my roommates and a few select people about it, but overall as a campus, I know a vigil was held, but I don't know if there was a large reaction campus-wide necessarily.
So are you still hearing people talk about it, or has the conversation died out?
I think by this point the conversation's mostly died out about it, not that it's not still a prevalent issue, but we actually just in my last class talked about with some people about gun control and things like that, but it wasn't necessarily just about the Vegas shooting, but I think it's had an impact on conversations about gun control.
So GW Hospital has been petitioning to put a helipad on their roofs to prepare for future traumas, but there's been a lot of controversy in the Foggy Bottom community about whether this would affect the community's safety and quiet. What do you think about this?
I think that if it helps save lives, then it's necessary.
A lot of people feel that by preparing, we're normalizing it. How would you respond?
I think preparation is a good thing. I do think it makes it a little more commonplace, but it's something we have to have if these kind of incidents are going to continue to happen without policy change.
Have you seen any political changes or conversation changes on campus since the shooting?
No, not really. None of the last ones have changed anything, and this one hasn't either.
This is Devin Link reporting from Kogan Plaza for GWeek.
Thanks, Devin. Just to note, that story was filmed just a few days before the mass shooting at a Texas church that claimed the lives of 26 people. 8 of the victims were children.
Over 1,000 people gathered on the National Mall on October 21st to raise funds to support research that will help find a cure for leukemia and lymphoma. Reporter Samantha Tryman illustrates the event, Light the Night.
On October 21st, thousands of people gathered on the National Mall to participate in the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Light the Night Walk. The event fundraises research and creates a supportive environment for survivors and blood cancer patients. Over 200 walks were held in cities all across North America in efforts to raise funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Thanks, Samantha.
After 3 years of construction, the District Wharf opened with a bang on October 12th. The spot where DC meets the water premiered its location with live music, food, and shopping.
The wharf will feature an ice rink and holiday boat parade in the upcoming winter months. Let's check it out with GWeek reporter Elizabeth Dewey.
This weekend is the opening of the Wharf, the district's newest waterfront destination.
Centrally located, the District Wharf features approximately 3 million square feet of new residential, office, hotel, retail, cultural, and public spaces, including waterfront parks, promenades, piers, and docks.
How did you guys hear about it? We live down the street, so...
We saw all the construction constantly, and then we were just waiting, and we saw the sign saying it was the countdown for when it's going to open up.
And it looks really cool, so...
On its opening day, the wharf was packed with excited families and people from the surrounding area. The day was celebrated with food, performers, and fireworks, as well as bonfires, free s'mores, and games.
We've lived in the neighborhood. My husband and I have lived here for about 8 years, and my husband actually lived in the neighborhood for 20 years. So we've been waiting for development here. So we've been hearing about this since before it was actually here.
At a beautiful location with many shops and the Anthem, a new concert venue, it is quite clear that this waterfront will become a popular attraction in DC.
Reporting from the wharf, I'm Elizabeth Dewey for GWeek.
Thanks, Elizabeth. During fall break, GW students had the option to travel home, take a mini vacation, or people like me decided to stay in DC and binge watch Netflix. But that wasn't the case for our GWeek reporter Jake Samuels, who joined GW Trails on their adventure to Zion National Park. Take a look.
GW Trails recently led a trip to Zion National Park in Utah. 17 students and an advisor who works for the university spent their fall break in the United States' 7th most visited national park.
The view is invigorating. I would say it's much better than Foggy Bottom.
The group camped near the entrance to the park and headed in each morning of the trip to hike the 2 most popular trails, the Narrows and Angel's Landing.
It's been a lot of uphill, but like that's the best part of hiking, and amazing views, like just unreal views.
Trails give students the opportunity to leave DC and get into nature while teaching them about hiking and camping.
I wanted to be a trails guide because I think there's something bigger than just what campus has to offer. And I think getting outside, you kind of let all of your competition and schoolwork and everything go. Yes!
The only drawback of the trip occurred on the second night when a sandstorm swept through the campsite.
Definitely the low point was the sandstorm because it was really unexpected. You can't plan for things like that because in the desert, like sandstorms could happen, and you'll know about it the day before.
Despite the storm, the group was still able to come together for a successful trip.
My favorite moments are always when students come together and having a really good time. All of our participants are kind of in groups already. They sign up with their friends, and so there are cliques, but then at the end of the trip it's everyone getting along.
Reporting for GWeek, I'm Jacob Samuels.
Thanks, Jake. That trip looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it did. And you know what else looked like a lot of fun? Boo at the Zoo. GWeek reporter Ethan Evers has the scary details.
Each year, kids and parents alike dress up in costumes and come to the Smithsonian Zoo for the annual Boo at the Zoo, a time where kids can dress up and trick-or-treat amongst their favorite animals. It's a great time for the whole family.
The Boo at the Zoo festival featured more than 40 treat stations and after-hour access to exhibits, including the Small Mammal House, Reptile Discovery Center, and Great Cats. Kids love stuffing their mouths with candy, as well as dressing up as some of their favorite characters.
So who you guys dress up as?
We're from the Mario Brothers game. We have Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Princess Peach, and Yoshi.
Awesome. And what's your guys' favorite part about coming to Boo at the Zoo?
The costumes. It's awesome. People are all dressed up.
For many years, the zoo has held this event, with everyone from little kids to full-blown adults participating. Hundreds of people from all over the DC area came this year to participate in the fun, and this includes several adult volunteers who helped give out candy and relish in the Halloween spirit.
So is this your first year working at Boo at the Zoo?
It is.
And what do you like most about coming here to Boo at the Zoo?
I've really enjoyed the kids' costumes and the family costumes. It's been adorable. It seems like a very family-friendly atmosphere. Specifically now they've closed down the zoo and it's just families that have been trick-or-treating.
It's truly a great celebration for the whole family. Happy Halloween from here at the Smithsonian Zoo. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ethan. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Until next time, make sure to check out GWTV on our website at www.gw-tv.com.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you around campus.